So I drank really heavily for about 10 years. I still held down a job and functioned in life. And in fact, many people didn't really know how bad my drinking was, but I knew how bad it was. And I could see the longer I was continuing on this path, the worse it was getting. Just as an example, I would never before drink during work, like on my lunch break or anything. I worked kind of 9-to-5 job my whole life. But the last couple years I was drinking, I would go get alcohol at the liquor store on my lunch break or have a glass of wine or two with my lunch and kind of go back to work with a buzz. There was even a time when there was alcohol in my office. I did event planning and it was for the event, and I started sneaking the alcohol at my desk, and it was like a dessert wine, so it was like very sweet and kind of disgusting, but I didn't care. I was drinking it anyway. But I could just see how the longer I was drinking like that, the worse it got. And I think that's true for many people who drink heavily. It's this progressive thing where it doesn't just stay flat and you kind of remain where you are. It continues to increase. I remember it started for me just having a couple of beers here and there, a couple nights a week, maybe a couple glasses of wine. I might drink too much on the weekends, but it wasn't an everyday thing. It wasn't this compulsion, but over time it became something where I wanted to drink 7 days a week. As soon as I was off work, I was drinking, or like I said, even on my lunch break. And the weekends, starting at 11 a.m., I would just start binge drinking until I essentially passed out. And my tolerance kept building. I would turn to hard alcohol and whiskey more often, and just found that I was sneaking my drinks more and drinking in secret more, because if I was hanging out with people that didn't like to drink like I did, meaning drink a lot and drink to get drunk, I wouldn't really want to be there. I would just kind of be annoyed that, I was having to kind of pace myself around them. I found myself in this real internal conflict because on one hand, I really liked to drink. It relaxed me and helped with stress, and I would have fun with it. But on the other hand, I could see how it was really destroying my health and my life gradually. I kept trying to quit drinking, thinking that was the answer, but every time I quit, my craving for it would just increase, which I now know, doing research, it's because there's something called the alcohol deprivation effect, where when you're addicted to it and all of a sudden you stop it, you actually end up craving it because your body thinks you need it for survival. But I'm grateful that in 2017, I stumbled upon a neuroscience treatment that gradually de-addicted my brain from the addiction after 10 years of suffering and struggling. I've been free from alcohol addiction for almost 6 years. My whole TikTok is about this. You can learn more about the treatment with my other videos or the link in my profile. Hang in there.